Air signs. What is really good? Welcome to Behind the Black Veil. That's all I'm going to say today. All right, I'm taking a break from my mental health from the introduction because I don't want to hear it right now, okay? I will tell you it's an adult tarot sesh. All right, you're welcome. Fantastic. You've been warned, people. Let's find out about your mental health because this is about how the spirit is affecting your mind. All right, and the interaction and the interplay between your mind and your spirit. All right, because that's where it all trickles down from, right? The spirit. So what's affecting your mental health? This represents your current mental health. Okay, my goodness. You've got your mind in the gutter, maybe? It's a possibility. Um, Look what I see. This is what I see. Feel me? You're preoccupied, maybe. This is about focus. This is about establishing your will. And it may be about an emperor. All right, let's move on to the emotion that is clouding your perception of reality. What seems to be the problem? What's in the way? Well, there is not much you can do about that now. Can you there, air signs? That's judgment. That's the ancestors. The ancestors have spoken. All right, who knows what they said? We'll find that out in a minute. But I tell you what. How do you improve your perception of reality and gain clarity? Just like this. Death of the ego. Death of the ego. Okay? Change and transformation. Some cycle may be coming to an end. Don't take that for granted. Don't think you know already. Because I get a sensation this is a new twist here. Let me reflect here on how you can change the circumstances. We'll go back around and get some deeper insight into this. Change your circumstances and elevate your mood. You probably should do it like this. Have a healing discussion. Talk to God, perhaps. Okay? But there may be someone you need to talk to. I don't know who. The emperor? I don't know. How can you be happier day to day? Like this. Okay, be glad. Be thankful. That's what I get from that. Be thankful that you are sailing peacefully through whatever this is. Okay? You are sailing peacefully through this judgment and death. You are sailing peacefully. Be thankful. That's how you can be happier and happier day to day. Gratitude. Because you're okay. You're okay. All right? Have some gratitude. That's gonna lift your mood. Okay? Or maybe talk to some people who are very healing, who have healing wisdom to offer. Or talk to the Creator. Spend some time with nature, perhaps. That will change the circumstances around you and elevate your mood. Let's talk about how you can connect to yourself. Like this. Okay. You need to cooperate with yourself. All right. The wheel of fortune is spinning right now. You need to cut yourself some slack. All right. I don't know why I'm getting that. Cut yourself some slack. Be a little more forthcoming with yourself. Well, let's go back around, all right? Let's get a deeper understanding of this current mental health situation with the Emperor card here. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, first thing I get is that the Emperor needs to bring justice to the lovers, to a divine connection. This is your divine masculine. He's on your mind. You might have regrets about him, or he might have regrets about you, or you might have regrets about each other. Okay? There might need to be some justice because I see the ancestors here blocking the situation between you. That's what's blocking it. All right? That's what's blocking. I don't know. Cock blocking. That's what I get from that. Okay. Anyhow, yeah. The ancestors are cock blocking. Okay? The ancestors are cock blocking, which you know, since you know the ancestors, you know that the ancestors are cock blocking because something was not justified. So that has to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And you or they, whatever, whoever the other person is, not the emperor, the empress, I'm going to guess. You have nothing to say about it. It's like two kids, like back in the day, back in the old times in the 1800s or some shit, where they used to come calling on a lady, you know, and you would be chaperoned, and you had to have approval to go places and do things, and you could sit in the living room together on separate chairs, you know, and that was y'all dating each other. Okay, you might go to a soiree, maybe take a little spin around the garden, you know what I'm saying, that sort of thing. Take a little walk down into town, you know, pick up some buttermilk for grandma, you know, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So the ancestors are doing that to the Empress. The Empress is not allowed to be in relationship with the Emperor, and he is not allowed to be in a relationship with the Empress because he has to be the Emperor and bring justice to this divine union. Okay, so whoever I'm talking to, whose mental health this is pointing to, that's what you've been thinking about. That's what's on your mind. Okay? The Emperor is all over your mind. Molesting your mind. Okay? I'm done. Okay. He probably is molesting. I know. He probably is, though. Okay? But it doesn't look like you're in too much of an emergency situation here, even though, what do I know? But hopefully you can bear to hear my laughter and you're not too sad or feeling bad about anything. Let's talk about what's clouding, more about the ancestors and the judgment. Because he has to realize the meaning and the worth of his actions. He has to realize your value. He has to realize his value. He has to realize the value of this relationship. He has to realize the value of the law of the universe. So, you know, he has to be fit to be your counterpart, and that, you know, which would make him the emperor. And, you know, and that would give rise to this divine union. So really, it doesn't, the Empress figure, she doesn't have control over this. And he really doesn't either, except where he participates with the law, you know. And again, judgment, justice, judgment. So you know what it is. Let's go further. Y'all might be past life soulmates, because I got another impression about back in the days when you used to, like if you went off the path and you broke the rules of society and shit, right? With the chaperones, and You're not supposed to be having sex, obviously. So, of course, people would break that law all the time, break that rule of society all the time, and then a woman might end up pregnant. So, back in the days, she would just have to be spirited away somewhere where she could have the baby and then they could give it away or whatever, and she could go back to her life, or um, or you had to marry her. Okay, so that might be a thing as well. Somehow, that's on someone's mind, or whatever. I don't know. Something is old fashioned. Y'all might be from back in those days. You know what I mean? So anyhow, yeah, okay. The emperor has to have a strong enough desire. It has to be your heart's desire, not lust. It has to have the creator's blessing. It can't be lustful and he just wants to, have sex and, make off and, get another one and collect women and collect pussies. You know what I'm saying? And collect possibly hearts, most probably. So, yeah. So the ancestors are chaperoning you, and that's the blockage. That's the blockage. So I don't see that as a real problem with your perception of reality. I really don't. It's just a matter of the ancestors are like, no. That's it. The ancestors are like, nah. Until we see that he meets the criterion set forth by God for the divine feminine, because she is divine. All right? And the creator is not about to let somebody fuck up the divine feminine or destroy her with their lustful shenanigans, with their young shit, because this Gué de la Flambeau is like a knight of wands. So a knight as opposed to the emperor, big fucking difference. This the empress we talking about. You know what I mean? Can't be coming half-ass. Ain't no half-stepping. That's what the ancestors said. They said ain't no half-stepping. So in terms of how to improve your perception of reality and lose the ego, how do we mean that? Yeah, follow your divine calling. Listen. You or the empress figure has nothing to say about it. That's what they're saying. They're saying be humble and sit down. That's what they're saying. Okay? And they might be laughing at you a little bit. They might be laughing at how you're going through changes. I don't know if you're going through... Well, yeah, maybe. Because this card does represent change. Okay? Or both of you are going through change. I don't know. Okay? But they find the shit hilarious. Just so you know. Okay? They find the shit absolutely fucking hilarious. Alright? I'm going to guess neither one of you find it hilarious because we have justice and judgment. And people don't generally laugh or feel jovial during those moments. Okay? But yeah, they said sit down because you have a divine calling. Okay? You have a divine calling. And while you may not completely understand why it has to be like this, right? You might not completely understand that. But be humble and sit down. All right? They say understanding is not a prerequisite for cooperation. You understand? They say do what I say and not as I do. Okay? So there's some kind of chastisement in this situation for the feminine. Even though the masculine has to, whoever the divine masculine is or component of the situation, he has to go through this justice and judgment. So does she. That's what I'm picking up here. That's what I'm picking up here. So does she. Because cock blocking, that might be your title. Okay? She has to go through this. She's being chaperoned and maybe she doesn't like it. She doesn't want to be chaperoned, right? She's like, no, I want to see him. I love him. Leave us alone. I love him, right? And I guess the ancestors are laughing their fucking ass off. Like, look at these idiots, right? So, I love him. Oh, that's good shit. Okay, so you're confused, okay? But it's okay. You know, like you have the gist of it. You've got the gist of it. Emperor, Empress, yeah. Relationship, soulmates, that whole thing. You got that, okay? You got that down. Justice, judgment. You got that down. But you don't quite understand the need for the chaperone. And you being in this situation, or the Empress being in this situation, is telling you why you need a chaperone. Okay? Because you got involved with the Knight of Wands. Yeah. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Okay? And while you may have thought that that was your heart's desire, they were desiring something that wasn't from their heart. Let me show you where it was coming from. Their desire was coming from, you see where his hand is? Right. That's where their desire was coming from. Yours was all coming from your heart. And you're like, oh, he's so handsome. He's so sweet. He's so innocent. He's so... Oh, whatever. Whatever. Right? Whatever. Had him up on the emperor pedestal. Okay? Air signs. Justice. Libra. That was not fair. And I don't mean it wasn't fair in that you victimized someone. I mean it wasn't fair in that they didn't know the meaning and the action, meaning and the worth of their actions. They didn't know your value. They didn't know their value. They didn't know the value of this relationship. They didn't know the value of the universal law. They didn't know the value of their own spirits, of their own divine path. And I know that's hard to come by. Hello? Right. Which is why you need a chaperone. You know what I mean? Because who in their right mind would not try to pursue a full life, right? Anybody would. That's the logical thing. And that's why they understand that you may be confused. You may be a little confused about why you have to do this. Okay? But it's a death of the ego that is required in order to follow this path. To whom much is given, much is required. You don't get to be the Empress because you're cute. Okay? That's not what this is about. Okay? It's not about because you're sweet, even. Okay? While that is, yes, sugar, spice, everything nice. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. That's part of the recipe. Okay? But then you got to roll out the crepes, baby. You don't roll out crepes, but you know, you got to mix the you got to mix the batter, you got to get it together. Then there's the prep. You know, there's assembly and then there's prepping and actually cooking. Okay? So, there's been a lot of cooking around you, seasoning, eating. I don't know what's up with that. Okay? But yeah, the feminine may not understand why this has to be blocked like this. Okay? Or you may not understand. You might be on the receptive side. Whatever's receptive, inner, feminine, female, you know, all of that. So yeah, you might not get it. But it's the ancestors are protecting you. That's what it is. Okay? So be humble, because you have to have a level of humility. It's not just to hurt you or to harm you or to ruin your fun in life, you know. But it is to let you know that you didn't understand your value. You didn't understand. Maybe you knew it. You didn't understand it though. Okay, knowledge and understanding. Two separate things. Having information and knowing what to do with it and why it exists, how to apply it, those are quite separate things. You know what I'm saying? So you had to go through all of that, whatever that it was, you know. This is the traveling. Merciful traveling. Okay? You're safe during your journey. Things are peaceful. You know? And that's a blessing that you're receiving also from the ancestors. Sit down in this peaceful place while you reflect upon what you've done. Okay? Reflect upon what you've done here. You don't put yourself in the hands of someone. You don't put something this precious, you understand me, in the hands of someone this arrogant, this frivolous, this, what do we want to say? Reckless. Reckless. Yeah. That's a big deal, they said. That's a big deal what you did. Okay? With yourself. And that's why you have to cooperate here in terms of getting a deeper connection with yourself. All right? You have to cooperate with yourself. You must. Your life depends on it, they say. Okay? Your life depends on it because we have death. You could get yourself killed. I have been mentioning, I think I mentioned this to the water signs, there's a movie, docu-movie, whatever, on Netflix called American Murder. Listen, get your fucking ass to Netflix. I'm telling you right now. Everybody needs to see that shit. That is critical. Critical. Okay, it's about this dude who is fine as hell. Okay, by the way. Okay, speaking of the emperor. Right? Coming across as like everything every girl wants, right? Pussy just falling all over him, right? He's married. He's got 2 kids, right? For those of you who haven't seen it, spoiler alert, he killed his wife. He murdered this bitch the same night he fucked her. I'm sorry. Please excuse my language, y'all, but I am blown away. I saw the shit last week. I am sitting here trying to recover from what I learned. Okay? But the reason why I found, this is relevant, okay? The reason why I found it to be so impactful on me is because I feel that happened to me. In this lifetime. You know, like not obviously, you know, I'm still here, but like she died and he buried this bitch in like the back of his job somewhere out in, you know, middle America, Colorado somewhere. I mean, God bless her. I don't mean to call her a bitch like that. It's bad timing to call her a bitch since she suffered so. But even though I mean that with, you know, with love, whatever. Stuff the babies. I don't even want to tell you what happened to the babies. I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not even going to tell you. Okay? You got to see the shit. Because it could have happened to any one of us. Generally speaking. You know, except people who stick close to God and have the ancestors for. This is why you need ancestors as chaperones to protect you from shit like this. Okay? Because she was just like, oh my God, what's going on? Why is he treating me like this all of a sudden? And he fucking murdered this bitch. And he had a side chick that he was like, yeah, I want to be with my side chick. Okay? I don't need no wife and kids. Yeah. Yes. And I know we've heard of that before, but no. Go see the shit, please. I'm telling you right now, you are missing out if you don't learn this. He was a narcissist. You got to see how they move. You got to see this. It's too deep. Okay? I heard he's trying to get out of jail. Like, oh, the Lord told me. I'm like, this motherfucker, he is crazy. They need to shoot him. But anyhow, point is, those people are dangerous. Because she was deeply in love with this man. Head over heels. Ready to have a 3rd child. She was pregnant, by the way. Okay? Ready to have a 3rd child with this man. Not understanding why he's like treating her funny a couple of weeks before he killed her. Right? Oh my God. Y'all don't know. It's deep. And then he was this guy. He was like handsome, sexy, arrogant, reckless. You know? He had these muscles. Like anybody, like even the fucking interrogation officer who was giving him the polygraph, This bitch couldn't keep her hands off of this motherfucker sitting there knowing he's a murderer. She was like, oh, hello. Okay, well, we know that you lied and everything. So, And I was like, damn, this bitch is ready to like jump on her knees right now. So my point is, look how intoxicating, tempting, and the ancestors are like, yeah, okay, no, no. Because you're like, oh, that's my heart's desire. He really cares about me. He's an emperor. He takes charge. He's my equal. He takes charge like me. He's alpha like me. Come to find out, he's not alpha. He's beta. He's beta. He's a follower, or he follows people, or he follows his penis, or he follows anything besides his actual self. That God made. That guy. That God made. Right, okay. So this is on your mind. Air signs, whatever. Flip it around, however. Okay? So that's why you're you're under judgment. And what is the judgment? The judgment is no, you can't have that. That's the judgment. Okay? Until, things are hanging in the balance here. So it's not it's not the end of the story per se for you, okay? But it's about making sure that you actually have an emperor on your hands and not some, flighty ass Knight of Wands energy that has hoes in different area codes, because that's what he's doing. He's like, I got hoes, right? And he think he got your number? And the ancestor said, no. You could delete that number right there, motherfucker, or it don't matter. You ain't getting through. It said, hey, how you doing? Okay, sorry you can't get through. Okay. So how can you change the circumstances around you and elevate your mood? Pour your heart out to God. Pour your heart out to somebody you love and trust and who is healing to you tangibly. Okay? Who is a healing presence and has healing wisdom. Other than that, if it's not a person you should talk to, like a friend, best friend, family member, whatever, then talk to God, because God is represented here. The goddess is represented here as the plants, the herbs, the healing herbs, the medicines, and they're exchanging for mutual benefit. The healing knowledge that they know. Okay? So pour your heart out. You really have to. You might want to pour your heart out in nature or some such thing. Okay? Go out into nature. Tell the earth how you're feeling. Pour out the grief. Pour out the anger, the rage at the injustice. Because she has righteous anger. She's not just angry. She's angry for a good reason. Okay? And she transforms things. She grinds them down. Okay? Into powder. And she represents death too, in a way, because she'll kill you. Right? Or kill some noise of some sort. All right? But righteously, because someone did something wrong. Unjust. She doesn't like it. So pour out your rage. That'll change your circumstances right there and elevate your mood. It'll give you some healing. Okay? Or perhaps you need to have a healing talk with this emperor. I don't know what's feasible and I don't know what's logical. So take whatever wisdom comes from that. I hope those messages help you. How to be happier day to day. I get the feeling someone's learning something besides you or besides the person whose mental health this is reflecting. Be thankful because you know that you're loved. Use your energy to courageously sit your ass the fuck down and keep sailing mercifully and peacefully on like you're doing. Okay? And I don't get anything in particular from that. I get the sense that, you know, sail on means, you know, travel the journey of your life. Don't worry about anything else. You know, if the emperor or if the knight becomes the emperor, or you find a counterpart that's suitable, whatever, be on your journey. You know, your emperor will catch up with you. And what I mean by catch up with you is he will appear on your path by some means, whoever that he may be. And it doesn't require you to do anything different than keep sailing. You know, have a seat. That's what you need to do because you're being chaperoned. Okay? You're being watched. So cooperate, please. Don't rock the boat. All right? Don't rock your own boat. Your own boat. Okay? I'm not talking about any other boat. Okay? By, you know, being like, leave us alone, I love him, right? Don't rock your own boat. Hold your feelings right where they are. All right? And burst free from your limiting beliefs. Have the courage to just sit there. I know you must want to do something. You must want to do something. Okay? And the ancestors are like, no, you may not. You may not. Okay? And that's why. Because you can't be involved with reckless energy. You just cannot. You're too valuable. You're too valuable. Okay? People can go fuck somebody else. You know? There's hoes for that. All right? I have a healthy respect for the whole community out there. All right? All I ask is that you get your dough. All right? Free pussy only drives down the market rate of pussy. All right? That's all it does. Makes men lazy. All right? Don't do that. All right? Get your money. So, but other than that, I like hoes. Let me tell you what I like about hoes. All right? What I like about hoes is, all right, I'm about to wrap it up. What I like about hoes is they're professional. They don't get confused. Like, oh, I love him. No, I love him. No, I love him. No, there's none of that. There's none of that. The hoe is like, you got my money, motherfucker. You got my money? Okay, great. It was good seeing you. Okay? It was good seeing you. Have a great week. You know, that sort of thing. And I appreciate that. That kind of professionalism. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh, why don't you kill your wife and kids and come live with me? You know what I'm saying? Right. Okay. Yeah. Side bitches. Can't trust them. So, and by the way, never be a side bitch, which I know I don't have to say to you. But, you know, let it be known. That's my campaign. That's my campaign message. Okay. Don't be no motherfucking. Okay. Let's move on. How do you deepen your connection with yourself? Like this. I get a let it burn. And I don't mean that in kind of burn it down. I don't mean like that. I don't mean like that. I mean, get your dough. That I hear that. Get your dough. Keep coming up. You're about to come up. It might be a sudden change coming. As you cooperate with yourself, this will change the dynamic of your economic status. I get that strongly. Okay? put your energy into making money. That's what you do with your energy. That might be another reason why they're blocking this. Like, no, 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 no. You need to stop concentrating on that. All right? Because this fool is reckless anyway. Right? So what are you missing? Nothing. All right? It's not the emperor. So if it ain't the emperor, you know, you can go ahead and keep moving. Keep sailing. You know what I'm saying? Until the emperor arrives. Your emperor arrives. You need to just go ahead on and float on. There's a realization here. There's a sudden change. It's inevitable. All right, I'm going to leave it there because it's been long enough. All right. Air signs, listen, for more deep-ass readings like these, go to the description. You know what to do. My contact information is there if you need a personal reading. Also, pick yourself up a copy of Discriminating Wisdom. I'll be back with the Conscious Love readings pretty soon. All right, so I'll see you then. All right, so float on. Float on, air signs.